In the beginning, there was Eden, a place of unparalleled beauty and serenity where every leaf, every petal, and every blade of grass seemed to sing in harmony with the universe. A paradise crafted by the divine hand, where the soil was rich and fertile and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers. Every corner of this garden was a testament to the Creator's love and care, a garden where life flourished in perfect harmony. Rivers flowed with crystal clear water, and animals grazed peacefully, unafraid of any harm. The vegetation was lush and the flowers were vibrant, painting the landscape with a myriad of colors, and at its heart stood the tree of knowledge, bearing fruit both tempting and forbidden. Its fruits glowed with an otherworldly light, a beacon of curiosity and desire. Adam and Eve, the first humans, walked naked and unashamed. They were the epitome of innocence, their hearts unburdened by the weight of knowledge or sin. They lived in blissful ignorance, their days filled with the simple joys of tending to the garden. They planted seeds, watered the plants, and watched as life blossomed around them. Their laughter echoed through the trees, a testament to their innocence and joy. They found delight in the smallest of things, from the rustling of leaves to the songs of birds. They were the caretakers, the beloved children of a benevolent Creator. Life was pure, love was unburdened, the world was new. They embraced their roles with love and dedication, nurturing the garden as it nurtured them. And yet within this perfection, a seed of temptation lay dormant. Hidden beneath the surface, it waited for the right moment to sprout. The serpent, a creature of cunning beauty, slithered through the undergrowth, its eyes gleaming with an ancient wisdom. It moved with a grace that belied its intentions, blending seamlessly with the garden's beauty. It watched the humans, its forked tongue tasting the air, sensing their vulnerability. It was patient, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The serpent saw an opportunity to plant a seed of doubt, a whisper of discontent, in the hearts of the innocent. It coiled around the tree of knowledge, its presence almost imperceptible yet profoundly influential. The stage was set for a drama that would reverberate through the ages. The skies darkened and a sense of foreboding filled the air. The serpent's eyes locked onto the humans, its intentions clear. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, precariously perched on the edge of a single, life-altering choice. As Adam and Eve stood at the crossroads, the weight of their decision pressed heavily upon them, a moment that would change the course of history forever. The serpent, with its hypnotic gaze and silver tongue, approached Eve. Its eyes glimmered with a knowing, almost ancient wisdom, as if it held secrets of the universe within its gaze. It spoke of hidden knowledge, of power locked within the forbidden fruit. The serpent's voice was like a melody, weaving tales of enlightenment and untapped potential that lay just beyond the reach of the forbidden. Its voice, a silken whisper, slithered into her mind, planting seeds of doubt. Each word was carefully chosen, designed to unravel the fabric of her trust and curiosity. "Did God truly say you could not eat from any tree?" the serpent hissed, its words dripping with honeyed deception. The question lingered in the air, heavy with implications and unspoken promises. Eve, drawn to its beauty and intrigued by its words, found herself questioning. The serpent's scales shimmered in the dappled sunlight, a mesmerizing sight that only deepened her fascination. Had God truly forbidden them from this one tree, or was the serpent right? The doubt gnawed at her, a persistent whisper that refused to be silenced. Was there something more, something they were being denied? The thought of hidden truths and forbidden knowledge was intoxicating, a siren call that beckoned her closer. Eve gazed at the fruit, its glow pulsing with an alluring light. It seemed to hold a promise, a glimpse of something beyond the mundane, something extraordinary. The serpent's words echoed in her ears. Each echo seemed to grow louder, more insistent, urging her to take the leap, to reach out and grasp the unknown. A desire for knowledge, for something beyond their idyllic existence, began to stir within her. The garden, once a paradise, now felt like a gilded cage, its beauty masking the limitations imposed upon them. The fruit, once forbidden, now seemed to beckon, promising a taste of the divine. It was as if the fruit itself was alive, calling out to her, offering a glimpse of the infinite. The serpent, pleased with its work, retreated into the shadows. Its mission was accomplished, the seeds of doubt firmly planted in Eve's mind. Its subtle poison had taken root. The doubt and curiosity it had sown began to grow, intertwining with her thoughts and emotions, clouding her judgment. Eve, her mind clouded with curiosity and doubt, found herself reaching for the forbidden. Her hand trembled as it extended towards the fruit, the weight of her decision pressing down on her. The moment stretched out, a heartbeat away from irrevocable change. Eve's fingers brushed against the fruit's smooth skin. It was unlike any other fruit she had ever touched, its surface almost glowing with an otherworldly light. The texture was both inviting and mysterious, drawing her in with an irresistible allure. A jolt, like a spark of lightning, coursed through her arm. It was as if the fruit held a power, a secret waiting to be unlocked. The sensation was both thrilling and terrifying, a mix of pleasure and pain that left her breathless. She drew back, startled, her heart pounding in her chest. The shock had left her shaken, but also more curious than ever. What was this fruit, and why did it affect her so deeply? Her mind raced with questions, each one more urgent than the last. For a moment she hesitated, the serpent's words battling with the ingrained knowledge of God's command. The serpent had promised wisdom, a deeper understanding of the world and herself, but was it worth the risk? The conflict within her was palpable, a tug-of-war between desire and duty. But the allure of the forbidden was too strong. The promise of knowledge, of seeing the world in a new light, was too tempting to resist. Her resolve, once firm, began to waver. She reached out again, her hand trembling with anticipation. Eve, her resolve crumbling, plucked the fruit from its branch. The act felt momentous, as if she were crossing a threshold from which there was no return. The fruit was now hers, a symbol of her choice and the consequences that would follow. She held it in her hand, its weight surprisingly heavy. It was as if the fruit carried the weight of the knowledge it promised, a burden she was about to take on. She studied it closely, every curve and color, feeling a mix of fear and excitement. The scent of the fruit, intoxicating and sweet, filled her senses. It was a fragrance that spoke of hidden truths and untold stories, a promise of enlightenment. She closed her eyes, letting the aroma envelop her, drawing her deeper into its spell. With a deep breath, Eve took a bite. The moment was electric, a culmination of her curiosity and defiance. The fruit's flesh was tender, yielding easily to her teeth, releasing a burst of flavor that was both familiar and foreign. The taste was like nothing she had ever experienced before. It was a symphony of flavors, each note more complex than the last. Sweet, bitter, tangy, and savory all at once. It was a taste that defied description, leaving her in awe. It was a burst of flavors, both familiar and utterly alien. Each bite seemed to unlock a new layer of taste, a new dimension of experience. It was as if the fruit held the essence of the world itself, a microcosm of all that was and could be. A wave of energy surged through her, and her eyes flew open. The sensation was overwhelming, a rush of vitality that made her feel more alive than ever before. Her senses were heightened, every detail around her suddenly more vivid and intense. The world shifted around her, colors appearing more vibrant, sounds sharper, sensations heightened. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing a reality that had always been there but never seen. The beauty and complexity of the world took her breath away. For the first time, Eve saw the world and herself with a clarity that both exhilarated and terrified her. She felt a profound connection to everything around her, a sense of unity and understanding that was both empowering and humbling. She had tasted knowledge, but at what cost? The weight of her choice settled on her shoulders, a heavy reminder of the price of enlightenment. She knew that nothing would ever be the same, that she had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. The taste of knowledge was sweet, but its consequences were bitter. Section 4. The Fall from Grace Eyes Wide Open. Eve, her senses overwhelmed, turned to Adam. He stood before her, his brow furrowed with concern as he witnessed the change in her demeanor. She held out the fruit, her hand trembling. "Adam," she whispered, her voice different, infused with a newfound awareness. "You must taste it. You must see." Adam hesitated, his gaze flickering between the fruit and Eve's transformed face. He sensed the shift in her, the weight of the knowledge she now carried. He knew with a sinking feeling in his gut that their lives were irrevocably altered. Despite his apprehension, Adam took the fruit from Eve's outstretched hand. Her touch, once familiar and comforting, now felt charged with an unsettling energy. He looked into her eyes, searching for the woman he knew, the woman he had loved in their innocence. But the Eve he knew was gone, replaced by someone both familiar and strange. Section 5. Shame and fear hiding from the divine. As Adam swallowed the last bite, a profound silence descended upon the garden. The air, once alive with the sounds of nature, grew still. The leaves of the trees rustled nervously in a sudden, unnatural breeze. And then Adam and Eve felt it, shame. A searing, visceral awareness of their nakedness, both physical and spiritual. They had been laid bare, their innocence stripped away by the weight of their transgression. Fear followed close behind. They heard the sound of footsteps approaching, each step a hammer blow against their guilt-ridden hearts. It was the sound they had once longed for, the sound of their Creator walking with them in the cool of the evening. But now the sound filled them with dread. They knew they could no longer face him in their newfound state of shame. They were no longer the innocent beings he had created. They were something different, something broken,